Hello everyone. In the competitive landscape of performance marketing, we often find ourselves trapped in a race for immediate returns. However, optimizing solely for the first purchase is becoming a costly mistake. If you are bidding for a 500 rupee first order, when that customer is actually worth 8,000 rupees over a year, you are systematically underbidding. Today, we will explore how to transition to LTV-based bidding. We will cover the first purchase trap, the strategic shift required, implementation steps for Google and Meta, and a final playbook to scale your high-value customer acquisition effectively. By the end of this session, you will understand how to teach algorithms to find your most valuable customers, moving beyond the limitations of single transaction metrics towards sustainable growth. Let's examine why the first purchase trap is costing you your best customers. Consider two individuals, customer A and customer B. To a standard bidding algorithm, customer A looks like a winner with a 600 rupee first order. The algorithm acquires them and moves on. However, customer B starts with a lower 480 rupee order. Most algorithms would bid lower or even ignore this auction entirely. But look at the long-term data. Customer A never returns, leaving their total value at 600. In contrast, customer B is a high-frequency repeat buyer who reaches a total LTV of 9,600 within 12 months. When your bidding logic only sees the initial transaction, it learns to find one-and-done buyers rather than long-term profitable ones. By ignoring customer B, you are essentially letting your competitors win your most valuable future revenue. We must change what the algorithm sees to capture this hidden value. When you make the shift to LTV bidding, three fundamental things change. First, your algorithm begins learning from different signals. It identifies user segments and creative types that correlate with long-term value, not just immediate transaction size. Second, your financial targets evolve. You stop asking if a campaign hit a specific ROAS today and start asking what the 12-month payback period is for that cohort. A higher acquisition cost is perfectly acceptable if the LTV justifies it. Finally, your budget naturally flows to the right channels. Brand search and YouTube often outperform on an LTV basis, even if they appear less efficient on first-order ROAS. Remember, optimizing for first-order ROAS is like hiring someone based solely on the interview. LTV bidding is like hiring based on a long and successful career. It prioritizes the outcome that actually builds the business. Implementation on Google and Meta is straightforward once you have the data. On Google Ads, start by calculating your predicted 12-month LT from your CRM. Pass this value through your conversion tag as the conversion value, instead of the actual order revenue. You then switch your strategy to maximize conversion value or target ROAS based on these LTV figures. On Meta, the process is similar but focuses on value optimization. Segment your customers by LTV deciles and use your top 20% to seed value-based lookalike audiences. Ensure you are passing predicted LTV through your conversions API events. By setting your campaign objective to value optimization, you allow Meta's system to specifically seek out those high-value signals. In both cases, the key is feeding the machine a signal that represents the future potential, not just the past transaction. This alignment between data and bidding strategy is what unlocks true performance scale. You do not need a massive data science team to build LTV segments. A simple RFM model in a spreadsheet is a perfect starting point. We categorize users into 4 tiers. Tier 1 are your champions, the top 10%, where you should bid most heavily and never suppress. Tier 2 are your loyalists, perfect for retargeting on own channels like email and SMS. Tier 3 are potentials who need post-purchase nurturings to move up the value chain. However, the single most impactful move you can make is regarding Tier 4, the one-timers. These are the bottom 40% who will likely never return. You should exclude this tier from all prospecting campaigns entirely. Why pay acquisition costs to reach buyers who won't contribute to your long-term growth? By excluding the bottom tier, you free up budget to double down on the segments that actually drive your business forward. Transitioning to this model is not without risks. Most teams fail because of 5 common errors. First, using current revenue as a proxy for LTV, this just recreates a more complicated first-order model. Second, failing to adjust ROAS targets. LTV bidding justifies a higher CK, so keeping old targets will stall your growth. Third, running without sufficient volume. You need at least 50 conversions per week per campaign for the AI to learn effectively. Fourth, using stale data. LTV predictions must be updated at least quarterly to reflect current market trends. Finally, don't treat all products the same. A 200 rupee subscription has a vastly different LTV profile than a 2,000 rupee one-time purchase. Avoiding these pitfalls is crucial for long-term success and ensures that your value-based bidding efforts actually yield the higher margins you are looking for. To conclude, let us look at the LTV bidding playbook. Your journey starts by building a solid data foundation, pulling historical data, calculating real 12-month LTV, and segmenting your tiers. Next, you connect those signals by tagging your conversion events with predicted LTV rather than order value and setting up your APIs. Finally, you bid and scale by switching to value-based strategies and ruthlessly excluding low-value cohorts. Remember, the algorithm is only as smart as the signal you give it. If you give it LTV, it will find you LTV. It is time to stop bidding for the moment, start bidding for the future of your business. If you implement these steps, you will see your customer quality and long-term profitability transform. Thank you for your time today. If your advertising isn't delivering the results you expect, the problem may not be the budget, it may be the strategy. At Namster Marketing, we help businesses turn advertising into a predictable growth engine. Book a free consultation with our team, and let's explore how we can help scale your results.